Good morning, students. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, sir.
Nice, nice. Boy, I love that Rosin. Good morning. Jeez, so like on the belly full.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, Papa, hold on. All right, so I thought about sharing something with you all. Um, Anybody want to hear our early morning Suswa Auntie teacher?
Yes.
So, no man, I want to hear one more yes. Shanti, you want to hear it?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes.
cool. All right. So, one day this week, I was asked to be a guest speaker at a graduation. So, you know, teacher had work and teacher went to work and come back home and get ready, man, and say, yeah, teacher all getting props, and teacher ready. Teacher can do this, teacher ready. So teacher take out him best, Sunday best. And teacher put on, man, and teacher was introduced and it's so nice. And I say, ropes. And teacher get on and teacher start talk. Talk on good, And then I remember, just like how I even made reference to you guys, just like how sometimes I forget to check the chat. I am there talking and forget to put the things on my prop. So I am going to my prop, and while I turned on stage to go to my prop, I recognized I was walking lopsidedly. So I stop and turn around. Guess what happened? The boot heel, they one place, and me there one another place. My embarrassment knew no end. All I could say is that created my boot heel left me. You see, by the time I look up, the whole gathering were deadened with laugh. And I look over to the corner, and my wife turned pink. I laugh after me. Only tell me when it me though.
You laugh too, sir.
If you tell me, I laugh, me join them. I mean, never stop laughing until them don't laugh.
Sir, that's the best thing. 2 weeks ago, I had a similar situation where I was stepping out of the office.
Mm-hmm.
I had on a slippers, and the same thing. The heel went and I dropped. I fell on my back.
You know.
I started laughing to the point where my coworker said, "But queer, the girl I laugh at herself, we can't even laugh."
Serious, so you want to end it, you first laugh. Because anybody laugh after you say that's a stale news, can we laugh after that already? I mean, the only thing though that got me worried, on our way home, my wife said to me, did you see anybody with a cellular phone up? And I said, enough people have them cell phone. And she said, all right, just be careful that you don't see it on TikTok. I said, okay. And I said, but if you see it on TikTok, I'm going to laugh. Because I'm famous now. I'm going to laugh same way. I'm going to laugh same way. So what's the point? What's the moral of the story this early Saturday morning? Don't allow people to control your joy. Don't allow people to steal your spotlight. Don't allow people to have an edge over you. Join them. I had the spotlight when I had the attention of those parents and the graduates and principal and chairman and all them dignitaries. I had their attention, right? And then this one little thing happened and then everybody started to laugh. I wasn't going to give up that attention. So I'm saying to you, in this life, your single most focus right about now are your summer courses that you're doing. Don't let anybody derail you. Don't let no workplace derail you. Don't make no supervisor derail you. Don't make no financial situations derail you because you put off your courses this semester, come next semester, you still have to have them to do and the price are going to go up. Don't let nothing derail you. Smile at the storm. When the going get tough, you don't laugh after it. Laugh after it to scorn. Laugh after it because guess what? If you allow persons and situations to take control of you, you're dead. So those are my few encouraging words. In it, in this experience, I have so many other experiences that I can share from it. And I'm going to say to you, you see, when someone feel like when you can manage this foundation concept 3, laugh at it, brush yourself off, and try again. Don't let circumstances, situations, people control your outcome. Don't let it happen. All right. Are there any joys anybody want to share? Anything significant happened? Anything significant happened with them? With you this week? That you want to share? Hmm? You can't tell me something have nothing significant happened to you for this week. Nothing?
Sir, I'm still alive.
I'm here to tell you that is
Sir, I'm in a bed, you know, my little start. Sir, but me up this morning. I do my work. I'm gonna wire rough me this morning. So
well,
about 4 o'clock, I go sleep. So I'm in the man the feel, so.
you know what happened? We make sure starting off the class very light. Very light. Because I'm coming there. So I don't know where the distance you decide to get me there before I reach there.
Yeah, but
But
just I take with myself, you know, because you not let me this morning. So let me just go over the side and do them work, please.
me say, and me to tell you, so I went on Edico in preparation for the class. And me say, Jesus, my lovely students, them things I joke me, I joke, you know. Some students all know they know do the work from last week. I know some now open them there. Them get zero. When the system close out, them get zero. Let me tell you how many students don't. One student do one student here not do none, two students, 3, 4, 5, and then one more do only one. So 5 students don't do none of the 2 pieces that I did.
Share the screen.
Yeah, man, I share the screen too. Yeah, Osh. So 5 students don't do the stuff, and I'm going to say to you that it rough. It rough on, you know, because guess what? I'm teaching a responsibility, you know. I'm teaching a responsibility, and the responsibility that I'm teaching you is that you have to complete. You have to complete your work and complete your work on time. It's very important, you know, because when the time you miss now to complete your work today because you want to do road is the time that you'll never ever be able to recover. Because later on in the semester, when everybody else decides to drop the mid-semester test and drop them coursework, you now have time enough to complete your work. So this is what I'm saying to you. You cannot trust that you have this semester that has already given you everything that is expected of you from the course. You have all your assignments for the course already. You have everything. You have everything. And I can tell you, I'm the only lecturer that have already given you stuff. The coursework is already set. Matter of fact, I was in a setting on Friday, yesterday, when I was meeting with my staff, and I said to them that my Foundation 3 concept final exam already prepared. The only thing that I don't do yet is a multiple choice, but the section be done right. So you have to get into a state of readiness. I mean, but I told you, economic situations and circumstances get the best of you. You have to be in a state of readiness, or else the train is going to leave you. The train is going to leave you, guys. You know, I went to a conference recently, not last week, this week, last week, recently, either last week or the week before. And I was up doing some work. And you know what happened to me? I said to myself, pack the suitcase, the carry-on, suitcase on big, pack the carry-on, pack everything, do everything. And then, of course, I had my nightly shower. And I set the clock to alarm, and I said to myself, you know what? As a just in case, in the event that I oversleep and I get a telephone call to say, Mr. Shan, where are you? What best I can do is jump in the bathroom, wash my face, brush my teeth, draw on my clothes, and run out and tell them, give me 5 minutes, I'm going to reach a bus stop. Because I was prepared. No, if I never did take out my clothes, that couldn't happen to me. Of course, that never happened because I was up in time and got dressed and waiting for the phone call to drive out. But you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared. And preparation is going to be the deal breaker in many of our lives. So, guys, I'm going to close out something today again, you know. it seems like this group is one group that then caused me to close out assessments regularly. We're going to close it out again because some of you, um, 5 plus
Uh,
2 students. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
sir, with assessment I go close out, sir, because me see somebody asked in a group if sir give homework and somebody say no, because me find myself with the time make sure say me do the something the assessment them, sir. Although me have look question for ask later in a class, cause everything was
Mm-hmm.
a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish I had assessment yet about, sir.
Go to Educasoft, look at assessments, and you see all the list of assessments.
So
Every week
is it
you have.
so all the assessment there, sir. We must do everything there. Not don't wait on what the tutorial and everything there.
Trust me. Have a conversation with Brianna. Have a conversation with Teresa. I'm trying to remember the other name. It's not she alone. Brianna, and there's so many others. There are about. I sent a broadcast with some students the other day. Students who have done more than what I asked of them. Anybody received that broadcast?
So I went on Educo and
Yes,
saw
miss.
it.
Yes, sir.
To
Mm-hmm.
Brian, sir, and
Oh,
it said
Brian, yes,
attendance
man. Yeah, man. So
over there.
quite a number of students have done above and beyond what teachers asked them to do, and teacher is very proud. So teacher for big them up. Teacher for big them up, man. So don't wait on me. That's the point. Let me just say one other thing before I move into this thing, because you see what I have projected on the screen is very important. I say to you that it's going to be on your mid semester. It is also going to be on the final exam. So I need to spend some time today in class. Let me say one more thing to you. You see, Foundation Concept 3 of all the 3 foundational courses is my favorite. I don't know. There is maybe because it's graphs, or maybe because I don't know. It's just my favorite to teach. I like teaching the others too, but the 1 year, man, yeah. And over the years teaching it, I used to laugh at myself because I consistently, every summer I teach it, I may have 6 students failing or 5 students failing. And I don't have more than 6 or 5 students failing. And I'm going to tell you, 1 year I think I had all the students passing the course. But I'm going to tell you, see those 6 students or 5 students who every year normally get run about that number of failures are students who don't listen to me. Are students who wait until the 9th hour to do them work and recognize say them don't have time enough. And then they call me and ask me, sir, can you extend? No, we can't extend it. And I'm going to tell you why. I did not get a break like you got a 1 week break between second semester and the summer semester, because that 1 week I was trying to mark off exam papers. Right? So I never submitted all of them until I started summer school. So again, one semester ran into the other semester. No, let me tell you something. It not happened to me for this summer, I must take at least a week off. So you see, whenever your exam comes, I am marking those papers. If your exam is today at 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, at 3:30, I'm downloading those papers and I'm marking them. And as soon as I finish marking those papers, that's the same day I'm going to close out Educasoft. Because when I mark off those papers, I'm submitting the grades either the same day or the day after. So those students who don't finish, I ain't waiting on you. I don't want some cruel. But you see, the truth of the matter is, if every week I come and I say, do the work, and you don't want to do it, clearly you don't want to pass the course. But now wait, because I'm taking my break. I'm not running from one semester into the other semester. This is what I have been doing since COVID, and it rough on the body. I'm not doing it this year. I've made a plan to myself. I am not doing it this year. So guess what? When I work with me, because already the semester is going to end, I think the 19th of August, right? So exams will begin. Exams will begin. Exams will begin. I think maybe the week after. All right. So we normally go back to work the last 2 weeks of August to prepare for September morning. So already that preparation running into my break, but me still I take my 1 week break. Anyhow, with that said, hold the questions until I get there. But we will get there. So I'm encouraging those of you, please. I love seeing students succeed. I want to see you succeed. I mean, you know, the very best for all of you. I really want to see you guys do what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Work with me, please. Not a bad group, really not a bad group, but I think sometimes the pressures of life gets the best of us, but we have to circumvent, we have to overcome. All right. So, you know, by just unmuting and just saying yes or me, anybody got an opportunity to go through this handout that I sent from after class last Saturday?
Sir, to be honest,
Uh-huh.
through me here say you're gonna make with the question 2 by yourself. I just question 2 me did look on.
Okay. I appreciate your honesty. Whether or not I'm disappointed, but I appreciate your honesty. All right. So let me go through again. This piece here. Let me go through again. And then today in class, I'm going to give you an opportunity to just sit and just work on your own. Ask me the question. Hear me out. Students, I beg of you. The topic here, depend on your mid semester. It will depend on the final exam. All right? I am not concerned whether or not you understood this topic last week. It's not a concern of mine. It's not a concern of mine if you understood this topic from last week. What I want you to do is to use this opportunity today, right about now, to understand what it is that I'm teaching. All right? So let's go. It says completing the squares. All right? When you're completing the squares, it is going to be of the form A, open bracket, x plus h all squares plus k. See it right up here, sir? So when you're completing the squares, that's the format that you're going to be leaving your stuff in. Are you still seeing the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So it's going to be A, open bracket, x plus h all squares plus k. Now, as I said to you last class, Brianna, Abigail, Krishna, Shante, Tristan, you know, those are some of the names of my students in the class. And I'm calling those names out of by memory. I don't know all the names just yet. My function, x squared minus 4x plus 6, is named g of x. Then say that for me with g of x, I'll say it named g of x. But in another instance, I can give you another function that is named f of x, or p of x, or h of x, or I can just simply name it y. Or I can simply name it y. It's just a naming of the function. So if you see me give you the function g of x, and then on the graph you see me put the vertical axis, call it y, don't get confused. G of x is y. What g of x shows is that the function g is in the variable x. That's what it shows. Y just going to tell you, say, here the plan. Y is a function containing x. X squared minus 4x plus 6. But don't be worried about it. G of x, p of x, q of x, r of x, anything of x is just the naming of the function. That should not be your concern. What should be your concern now is that when you're completing the squares, you are separating the x variables from the constant. That's your first step.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, could you zoom your screen a little, please?
Well, Let me try, because I'm using borrowed computer. Is that much better?
Thank you.
No problem. You must come out of your bed. That you must do. And sit up on your table for class.
Your bird them make all heap of nice sir.
Yeah. That. Sorry. I soon come talk to you, Papa. Say it again. What you said? What was the response?
No, sir. I'm not in your bed.
Oh, you're not in the bed. All right, cool. Yeah, man. So I have birds. I have birds of my own, and I have birds borrowed from others. Um, one of the things I do is put little feeding nests around the place. So I attract a lot of birds, whole heap of birds. Black bird, white bird, gray bird, brown bird, every kind of bird. I think they're peaceful. There are times I just come outside and just sit and just listen to cooing, and I'm at peace. All right, let's go. If it's disturbing you, though, let me know so that I can relocate. So I guess you know that I'm on the outside. All right. So don't worry about it. It is just the function. And I want to take it step by step. And at this point, this is a good point, a good opportunity for you to have your pen in hand, writing the function and making notations as I go along. So the function is named g of x squared minus 4x plus 6. What have I done? I just write the function x squared minus 4x plus 6, which is my first step. Then my second step here is to write my x variables first, leave a space for my last term, and then write the constant after. So what I'm doing is writing x squared minus 4x. Then I'm going to leave a space for my last term. So why leaving a space for the last term? I'm leaving a space for the last term because I am going to be making this a perfect squares. The answer is not a perfect squares yet. No, it's not. I am going to make it a perfect squares. So look at what I'm going to be doing. The same line here, I am going to put it in parentheses so that I can mimic what is up here, the x plus h all squares. I'm supposed to find this last term here that will make this piece of perfect squares, that when I factorize it, I get x plus h all squares. No, and this is the problem I have now, you know. And every time I sit down and I look at it, the birds remind me so much of people. Imagine, I put feeding down for them. And my feeding, you know, and my feeding. And two stray birds will come fight over my feeding, and one will beat up the other. Tell me if you know if that behavior don't mimic others. Two teeth fight over somebody else stuff. I want to go kill one, and none feed them one. And them can't live good. Honestly. All right, let's go. So when I put this x squared minus 4x plus my last term in parentheses, and I find this last term, it means that when I factorize, I'm going to have this x plus h all squares. Let's go. What I'm going to have here is, I need to first check to see that the coefficient of x squared is 1. I need to first check to see that the coefficient of x squared is 1. So why are you emphasizing that? I soon tell you. You're going to first check to see that the coefficient of x squared is 1. If the coefficient of x squared is 1, then you're going to find half the coefficient of x and then square it. If the coefficient of x squared is 1, then you're going to find half the coefficient of x and then square it. You must first ensure that the coefficient of x squared is 1. You must first ensure that the coefficient of x squared is 1. So I'm going to look at the coefficient of x. I'm going to look at the coefficient of x. And I recognize that it's -4. So what I'm going to do is to find a half of -4, because remember it's a coefficient we're talking about, you know. It's a coefficient we're talking about. So I'm going to find half of the coefficient of x. Half of the coefficient of x.
Excuse me, sir. Are you writing on the screen or moving your cursor?
I'm not doing a thing, I'm just talking. What happened?
No, sir, I was just wondering because I wasn't seeing any movement on the screen.
Everything that I have there is this thing. All right, you want movements? There you go. So I'm finding half the coefficient of x and then squaring. All right. This is just a recap from what we did last class. So the coefficient of x is a number in front of x. The coefficient of x is not the same as the coefficient of x squared. X squared is a different term from the term x. So you have to listen and you have to know which of them to use. If I'm finding the coefficient of x squared, I'm finding the number in front of x squared. If I'm finding the coefficient of x, I'm finding the number in front of x. All right. So the coefficient of x is going to be -4. So when I find a half of -4, a half of -4 is going to be equal to 2. See it yourself, right yourself. A half, find half, see the half here, the coefficient of x, which is -4, and I'm going to get -2.
Yes, sir. I see that.
Say it again.
See that, sir.
Right. And then now, when you square -2, you're going to get +4. This then becomes my last term. Geez, I leave out the R. I won't fix it. I can't fix it here now because this is a PDF document that I sent off to you. I apologize. My last term, last 10. So this is supposed to be my last term. So this 4 is going to be my last term. So look at what I'm doing. I am not, since I've now evaluated my last term, I'm going to take out last term from this, and this, and put it here. So I put it in green. So this 4, my last term here, I'm going to substitute it here. Guess what? All of this is now a perfect squared. So how you know? Because finding half the coefficient of x and squaring it, I'm making it a perfect squares. Watch me. I have to put it in first before I take it out. Put it this way.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sorry to disturb. Sir, if you're writing or moving your cursor, sir, I'm not seeing.
All right. Let me make a PSA, a public service announcement. I'm not writing on screen. All of my writing would have done from last week. I am merely going through what I did last week. I'm recapping what I did last week. So this question, where you see I circle this 6 and I circle these 1 and the 2 down here, all of that was done from last week. What I've done is to bring up the document that I sent you in WhatsApp. And I'm just going through as a refresher, as a recall, I'm just going through last week's stuff. So I'm not writing. I've done the writing all of last week. I'm merely going through what we did last week. Understood, everybody?
Sir.
Yeah, cool. When I start writing, you will see, trust me. You will see it. All right, so just work with me. So this is where I'm at now. I'm at this point. I'm at this point here where I have the x squared minus 4x plus 4 in green, close my parentheses. Then I'm going to have my plus 6 minus 4. So I'm at this point trying to explain to you now that I must put it in first. So what do you mean by put it in? This has to be a positive sign. And then I'm going to take it out with a negative sign. So I was about to give you an example. You know, you have an ATM card. So you go to the bank, and the bank says, you know, each time you come here to withdraw money by over the counter, we're going to charge you $350. So we encourage you to use the ATM because you get 5 transactions for the month free. And me said to myself, so what? 5 transactions for the month free. But if I choose to go into the bank, I have to go pay 350 times 5. That is 15, 16, that is $1,750. No, sir. Never use the ATM. But before I go to the ATM to withdraw money from the ATM, I must ensure that I would have done a deposit. I have to put money in it first before I can say that I have money from the ATM to withdraw. If you remember that, you should remember that I have to put this here first, in first. I'm going to tell another little story. Don't blink. Listen. I'll do this once. Once upon a time, when this sign here is a positive sign, the one here, it says to us that both signs in the brackets are going to be the same sign. When the sign here, so the last sign in the trinomial is a positive sign, it says to us that both signs in the brackets are the same, and the 2 signs are going to look like the middle sign. Sir, how you know that? This is because of doing these trinomials over the many years. I do them from before some of you were born. And this is what I have found. And it works every single time. When this last sign is a positive sign, it says to us that both signs in the brackets are the same, and them look like that sign here. So, sir, you're saying that if this was a negative sign, that means you can't have 2 same signs in the brackets? No. Why, sir? Aha. Thank you for asking. This sign here is positive. Then the 2 signs in the brackets are going to be the same. Because when you multiply 2 negative numbers, you get back this positive number. And when you multiply 2 positive numbers, you get a positive number. If this sign here is negative, it says to you that one sign in the bracket must be positive and the other sign must be negative. Because when you multiply those 2 signs together, you have to get a negative sign. So when I'm multiplying and the signs are the same, my result is positive every single time. My result is positive every single time. All right? Hold on half a second, please. All right? My neighbor just tried to patronize me. Ooh. All right, let's go. So, when both signs in the brackets are the same, it says to us that when we multiply them, we're going to get the same sign, a positive sign. Because when I multiply 2 positive numbers, I get a positive number. When I multiply 2 negative numbers, I get a positive number. Very important. Very, very, very important. Very, very important. All right. Let's go. Continuing. So now that you understand why this sign has to be a positive sign, you put it in first, you take it out after. You cannot take it out before you put it in. That will make no sense. All right, let's go. Then now I'm factorizing. Then now I'm factorizing. What are you factorizing, sir? All right, watch it. This, all right, you recognize that this line here, I just simplified. All of here is what is in the parentheses, and then positive 6 minus 4 is this positive 2. Everybody saw that, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Then this piece now is where we are. When I factorize x squared minus 4x plus 4, I'm going to get x minus 2 times x minus 2. I'm going to get x minus 2 times x minus 2. All right? When I factorize x squared minus 4x plus 4, I'm going to get x minus 2 times x minus 2. And then, of course, I can add plus 2. And that's the end of my question. That's the end of my question.
Sir, question, where did the negative 4 come from? That's beside the plus 6.
This negative 4?
Yeah, beside the plus 6.
You put it in first, you have to take it out. So remember, all of this is an expression. So if you recognize going up, was that Tristan a while ago?
No, sir.
Who's that? Oh?
Andrew.
Oh, Andrehan, okay. I needed to talk to you here earlier on this week, but we can talk. So I'm saying to you, Sir Reed, is I have found the last term. I am putting the last term into an expression. So it means that I am disturbing that expression because I am now changing the expression. Because the expression originally was x squared minus 4x plus 6. Now I'm putting x squared minus 4x. I still have my plus 6 out here now, but I'm now putting in a plus 4. I'm not allowed to change anything in an expression like that. So I have to now go ahead and undo all of that. So since I put in a plus 4, I have to take it out.
Okay.
You follow me?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. So now I would have had my stuff in the form A, open bracket x plus h all squares plus k. Let me ask you, what is in red is what the question asks me to do to put it in that form. What is the value of A?
Value of A in the expression in the question, sir.
What's the value of A from this here in red?
Oh.
All right, what's the value of H?
H would be the negative, well, plus
What's the value of H?
4.
What's the value of H?
Is it plus 2?
What's the value of H? Look at what I have. What's the value of H?
All right, negative 2.
Good. What's the value of K?
The K would be plus 2.
Good. What's the value of A?
A would be
X.
X.
What's the value of A?
Is it X, sir?
Somebody said it in the background. Can you come to the foreground, please? Say it again.
Is it 1?
Absolutely. It has to be 1. Who said that? Okay, Ali Bali Russell. It has to be 1.
Yes, sir, I get it. I see it.
Come on. You see it? It's by A outside of the parentheses, so we don't know A as a hex.
Right.
Hex is outside of the parentheses. And A is going to be the coefficient of x squared. So, all right, let me tell you a secret. Another secret, because I've been telling lots of secrets. And I'm hoping this was done for you from Foundation Concept 2. When you're being introduced to the quadratic formula. Completing the squares was derived from the, the quadratic formula, a squared, x is equal to x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That formula was derived from completing the squares. So, you know, when you're doing the quadratic formula, you talk about a is equals to the number in a, b, c. A is the number in front of x squared and b is the middle term and c is a constant. Is the same concept here. Because I can use this to derive for you the quadratic formula. All right? So, this is what this is. Watch me now. Question says, hence, sketch the graph of g of x. You see how long I'm spending on this? All right, and I'll say nothing more upon that. Hence, sketch the graph. My vertex, look at what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, let x, and incidentally, I would have shown you how to do the factorization down here. So now I'll go through that again. So from here, I'm going to let whatsoever in the parentheses be equals to 0. Anything that is in the parentheses, I'm going to make it equals to 0. So x minus 2 is going to be equals to 0, and I'm going to solve for the value of x. X is therefore going to be equals to 2. That x to be equals to 2, when I write in a pair, a coordinate, an ordered pair, my x value comes first, followed by my y value. When I'm writing an ordered pair, my x value comes first, followed by my y value. So you see, I colorize it. That 2 here, so is the same blue 2 here, so because this is the x value. This 2 here is corresponding to my y, and that y is the number that is outside here, so. So this 2 here in red, that positive 2 in red is this positive 2 right here. And this x equals 2 is this 2. Watch me. My vertex is now x equals 2, 2 comma 2. So I'm looking here, and I'm going 1, 2. So this is x equals 2. Y equals 2 is going to go up here. So this point right here is my turning point, because my vertex becomes my turning point. My vertex becomes my turning point. My vertex becomes my turning point. And watch me. Go back to the original question. This is what I'm circling here. This positive 6. This positive 6 is my y-intercept. This positive 6, the constant, tells me what and where it cuts the y-axis. It cuts the y-axis at x at y equals positive 6. So I'm going to look at my graph for positive 6, and where it cuts it right here, so it will be positive 6. So the sketch of my graph will be something like that. Bam, bam, bam. Because I need to tell the system it only extends it. So these are 2 points that I have on the graph. Bam, bam, bam. I can tell that this graph does not touch the x-axis. Anybody who gives me a sketch of this graph that touches the x-axis, you are wrong. When Andrehan asked the question earlier on where this 4 comes from, I had an intention of explaining something a little further. It just came back to me. Just give me a few minutes, please. For those of you who are, let me not even say good cooks, but those of you here who can cook, Sometimes, and that's not a this. Sometimes when we cook our yard, we just beat the scallion and put the scallion in the soup and drop the garlic in the soup and drop the bay leaf and we drop the pimento in the soup. And when we are share, we don't take it out. We just share the food and the soup tastes nice enough. The soup bad. But guess what no? Soup nice and you drink your soup and you have your dumpling and meat in your mouth and then you go bite a pimento seed. No, I know. Me not go swallow all of that. So all of me having in my mouth will have to go to waste. And worst case scenario, you're drinking the soup and piece of lamb, your scallion come and it burn from your chest, by your chin, and it burn by your mouth. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Ouch.
Sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So that's when you cook at your houses. But guess what? If you don't go to a good restaurant and pay enough money that we don't have to pay because we can cook our yard, you will never find scallion and pimento and garlic and ginger coming into your plate. You can say, sir, they really sit down and take out all of that. No. All of the seasoning is placed into a sieve and the sieve is dropped into the pot. And it cook out in the pot, and when the man them done, them just and the chain is hung to the side of the pot. So they cook rice and peas, everything in the sieve. And when the food done, then just lift up the chain and shake off that, so them catch every bit of seasoning with them dropping in the pot. So they can safely share the food without you finding any of those something inside there. And that's when you go good restaurant. The one them that just come up not have them things there. And how I know? Because I teach them tourism, I teach them applied math. You understand? So that is what is happening. So everything that you put in, you have to take out. Because that makes you 5-star from 3-star, from no star at all. Right? So that's what it is. That's what it is. We finish this, Any questions? Any questions on this so far? No? All right, good. Okay, before I ask that question, let me go to.
Sir, I didn't complete foundation 2, but when I go on here and try to select it, it's clashing with another course. Can I move on with foundation 3 and then go back to do foundation 2?
Yes, I can give you the override for that, sure. And the reason I'm going to give you the override for that is that foundation 3 normally is done only once a year. We may have every now and again a little one foundation 3 in the school year, but we have foundation 2 sometimes offering in the first semester and the second semester. So I can give you an override not to do the foundation 2 and just move and continue the 3. All right, with the promise that you are going to pass the foundation 3.
Thanks, man.
Okay. So let's go. Where am I?
So wait, sir, if we pass the foundation 3, we have to do back over the foundation 2.
I'll let you tell.
Yeah.
So you have to pass 1, 2, and 3. I am only giving a blind to do the foundation 3 before the foundation 2. So if you get one A for foundation 3, you know so you have to go back to the foundation 2.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Cool. So it says write x squared plus 6x plus 7 in the form a open bracket x plus h all squares plus k. Hence sketch the graph of y. Sir, this does not look like what you just did. I wholeheartedly agree because I'm now showing you a second method. There are many ways to skin a cat, and I'm showing you a second method. So does it matter which of the methods I use? As long as I get it right, doesn't matter to me. So let's go. So again, I'm going to, you notice this time the function is on f of x is y. I'm writing my function. I'm writing my function. So my function here, x squared plus 6x plus 7, see it right here. So then what I'm going to do that I did not write on paper right here, so is to write my A, my B, and my C. What is the value of A? Let me see if you were listening to me earlier. What's the value of A? Very good. Very good. What's the value of B?
X squared.
What's the value of B? What's the value of B?
Positive 6, sir.
Thank you very much. What's the value of C?
7.
Positive 7. Very good. Very good. So the coefficient of x squared is always A, the coefficient of x is B, and the constant term is C. Remember I just said a while ago with the quadratic formula? That's where we get our A, B, and C from. The coefficient of x squared is your A, the coefficient of x is your B, and the constant term is your C. All right. So we know what A, we know what B, and we know what C are. Now, to find about the age here, the formula that we're going to be using is B over 2A. Is B over 2A. I'll have to use another device to make the correction by putting in the A, B, and C right here. B is 6. A is the coefficient of x squared, so A is going to be 1. B is 6. C is 7. H is B over 2A, so it's going to be 6 over 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is 2, and 6 over 2 is 3. That's how we found this value of H. Quick time. Sir, or you get A to be 1. All right, let's go again. The coefficient of x squared is A. Sir, how many of you know that? I ask the question right here. What is the value of A? The coefficient of x squared is the value of A, so A is 1. A is 1, B is 6, positive 6, C is positive 7. My B is 6, see I put it up here, so this is 2 times A, but A is 1, 2 times 1 is 2, 6 over 2 is 3. Done. The formula to calculate K is going to be C minus B squared over 4A. Let me pause right here, so. Again, pause right here so I can give you enough time to work this through by yourself, as I would have asked you to do last week. But let me just say something to you. I know a lot of you will go to YouTube and to look at this, and YouTube has a slightly different formula for this one here. You will have to understand why that their formula is slightly different. I don't want you to look at YouTube about this just yet. I will tell you when I want to go to YouTube, you know. But it's when you do something, if you're using a formulation method like what I have right here, so the one you want to use. The YouTube one will give you a negative sign if you select the wrong formula. If you select the incorrect formula, you're going to have a negative sign. So when the answer is supposed to be positive, you're going to end up with a negative value. When the answer is supposed to be negative, you're going to end up with a positive value. I'm giving you this one with an explanation, so you know when to put the negative sign and when to know to just leave it as it is. So I've given you 3 minutes to see if you can substitute the values of A, B, and C in here, so that we can work out to be negative 2. Start now, please. I'm stepping away for 2 seconds. How is still? All right?
Yes, sir. So that's 36 over 4. So when you divide 36 by 4, you get 9, negative 9.
Right. Right. So 7 minus 9 is negative 2.
Right.
Good, thanks. Thanks, Andrew. You know what I did? But I asked you to do it. I didn't want anybody to say 7 minus 9 divided by 4. Because remember, the 36 is over the 4. So you can't carry the 7 over the 4 now because there was no 7 over the 4 originally. All right? So the 7 is a standalone. Work out the fractional portion first. 6 squares is 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9. 7 minus 9 is going to be equal to negative 2. Very good. Now, so my k is negative 2. My k is negative 2. So I can now safely write it as x plus 3 all squared minus 2. Do me a favor. I'm giving you another 3 minutes to work this question using the first method to see if we get back this answer right here. Start from it, please. You want me to put, no, but you have it in WhatsApp. You have it in WhatsApp. So I'm going to let this stay here. Look at the first method that I did. Look at the first method I did, and I want you to use the first method with this other method here to see if you get the same answer. And you remember I did to that today's going to be a lot of working for you, you know. And then what you're going to do is to use this second question using the first method, and the first question to use the second method. So I'm giving you 2 questions to do. Question number 2, you're going to use the first method. Question number 1, you're going to use it for the second method. Start from here, give you for 5 minutes and see if you can get both of them for me, please. We'll get that, we'll move on. All right? Step in again. But you can talk. I'm just muting, but you can ask me questions if it's so true.
Sir, is the answer is 5 for the one in red. Sir?
I'm gonna answer the answer that was coming. Go ahead, please, Andrew Han.
Yes, sir. For the one in red, is the answer 5?
The one in red. What do you mean by that? The one in red is the answer is 5.
Y equal x plus 3 bracket -2.
You can't get the answer as that's the answer. The answer is y equals x plus 3 all squares minus 2. Or you get 5. You add a 3 and a 2 to get 5?
No, me I work it out, sir.
No,
Work it out.
no. If you work it out, okay. So if you if you try to expand all of this right here, so you can go back to up here, so as x squared plus 6x plus 7. So you're moving from here to here. If you claim that you need to work it out, you can go back to the original stuff. So this is the final answer. X plus 3 all squares minus 2. Follow me?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But you would I get back the answer there from the red?
What? You're not getting by the answer. That's the answer. The answer is x plus 3 all squares minus 2. I'm not understanding what you're asking me. Ask again.
No, man. So what you do with the one in red?
Leave it alone. And answer that.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Sir, did you work out A?
What do you mean work out A? There's nothing for A to work out, Andrew.
Right in the form of A open bracket.
What is the value of A, Andrew?
Sir, it's
value of A
Android,
is
not
1.
Android.
Sorry, forgive me. What's the value of A?
1.
Yes, there's nothing for me to work out.
No, but all you come up with the 1 though.
Can somebody tell him, please? How did I get 1? Hello?
Because x is 1.
No.
Sir, A is 1 because it is outside of the
It is a coefficient of x squared.
right.
Good. Let me address that one again. X is not 1. I want somebody to say what I said last week why x is not 1? Let me hear who was listening to me. Anybody?
I get A is the coefficient of x squared, you know. But me still not understand if that's so. How did you came to that conclusion?
What conclusion are you asking? I'm not following your question. Maybe that's the reason. What are you asking me about x and 1?
No, I'm saying you're saying that A is the coefficient of x squared,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying, how did you calculate that to give you A, which is 1?
You didn't answer your question. Which A you're talking about, right here, sir?
Yes, sir.
Right, because if the coefficient of x squared is 1, if the number in front of x squared is 1, 1 times 2 not 2? I don't know if I'm answering the question. I don't know if I'm
Move your cursor, make me look on the right page.
All right, I'm coming.
Because I understand everything else, you know. I understand everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just confused with the A and the X. Right there. Where it says in the form A open bracket X plus H2 plus 2.
Not H2, H all squares.
H all square, right?
Mm-hmm. And I'm saying to you that A is a coefficient of x squared, B is a coefficient of x, and C is a constant.
A is a coefficient of x squared, H is a coefficient of B, and C is a constant. So that's just the formula for everything?
Yes, sir.
No, moving forward, not on this.
From before my time, during my time, and after my time. Yes, sir.
Okay. B is a constant. And B is the what, sir?
B is a coefficient of x.
Sir, so we would have put that down to remember it. How would I write it? Are all supposed to be written?
Same way we just say it a while ago. A is a coefficient of x squared, B is a constant, C is the, sorry, A is a coefficient of x squared, B is a coefficient of x, and C is a constant.
Right, me I say, how you would I write it to remember it?
A is a coefficient of x squared, B is a coefficient of x, C is a constant.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. When I switch on the sound, so I the same answer you get.
We get the same answer.
Yes.
All right. All right. So you did both of them, and you switch them around for both of them and get the same thing?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good. Anybody else switch it around and get the same thing?
Yes, sir.
All right. Waiting on the others to answer. Abigail, come out of bed. Sun shining now.
Sir, me get me answers, me raise up my hand, sir.
You say the teacher know your business? Ava?
Sir, that's fine. I'm class, just a lucky laptop and go sleep.
Same here, so. All right. Okay. Am I able to move on, or are there other questions? If there are questions, please ask me. Don't allow me to move on.
Let me just say another one.
All right. Okay, you need to say another one. All right. No. This one, I'm not going to hide the answer because I gave you the answers already. This one, I want you to look at this one for me. And this one, question number 3, you see what the answer is. I want you to use the formulation method. The H is equals to B over 2A and K is equals to C minus B squared over 4A to see if you get that answer. If it's not something that is going to uplift me, keep it safe. Anybody get it?
Sir,
Mm.
sir. Get the answer, sir. But the only thing we're different,
Mm-hmm.
the plus one is a negative one. We get
All right. Again, I'm going to stop you. Even before you finish, I'm going to stop you. And I'm going to say to you, go back again, look at what it is that you have done, see if you can find the error, and then talk back to me.
All right, sir.
Sir, sir,
Yeah, yeah.
I got the same answer.
Again? Oh, sorry. When it's the same answer, you got the same answer like what I have?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Who was it that was getting a different answer? Was it you?
No, sir.
All right, good. All right. So who was getting the negative one? Can you tell me that you get the positive one now?
Sir, sir, me not answer me say like instant, sir. I work on it.
Sir, I think they got the negative one because I just put negative 3 minus 4. Then put negative 3 minus negative 3
Ah,
negative 4.
very good. Very good, very good, very good. All right, I want another 2 minutes for the rest of you to use the second method to see if you get the same answer. And for those of you who finish, I want you to work through this method that I have on screen and tell me that you understand it, because I'm gonna complicate this topic now just a little bit more when the coefficient of x squared is not 1 this time, or even -1. All right. So
Sir,
those of you, somebody saying something?
yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Um,
Sir, I don't understand how you get the half. Um, I don't understand how you work out the x squared negative x open bracket x squared.
Were you here last week, Antoine? Antoine,
Yes?
you were here last week?
No, sir.
Okay, that explains it. All right. Not addressing this comment to you, what is important is when you miss a class or you're not trying to find somebody in class. This is not directly to you alone, but to anybody else. If you miss a class, just find out what is happening, because it's going to retard you're going through. All right, so Antoine wasn't here, so let me go through, just for his sake, let me go through. So I have to factor out this -1. So I'm not seeing a 1 there. Yup, there is a 1. Right? So I'm factoring out this -1 because remember, in order for me to use the formula, half the coefficient of x and then square it. This formula here, finding half the coefficient of x and then squaring it, the coefficient of x squared must be 1. Can anybody remember me always emphasizing that the coefficient of x squared is 1? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So in order for me to use this particular method, I must ensure that the coefficient of x squared is 1. If the coefficient of x squared is not 1, I must make it 1. So which is why I ask you to work this the question number 3 using the other method first. Because this method now, I have to show you something. Watch me. So this technically this method is a different one. It's not a different method, it's just that I need to put in 2 more lines. So this method is the same thing as the first method I introduced it to, but I have to put in an extra line in it. I want you to stop writing and just pay attention right here, because I think that number 4 is one with 2. Yes. So number 4 and number 3 can work pretty much the same way. So I want you to, because I'm going to give you number 4 to work on your own, to work through this method and to work through the other method. All right. So I want you to put on the pencils and come from under the covers and just pay attention right here. So let's go. The coefficient of x squared is not 1. So that's the first thing that we need to recognize, we need to look out for. If the coefficient of x squared is not 1, we're in problems. And I have to go fix it first. It's just like you cooking chicken foot for the chicken foot soup later on today. If we're going to make sure you cut off the toenail them. I shudder to think that you cut the chicken foot with the toenail them in there. Say, we'll cut off the toenail. And if the chicken foot not strip, you have to go strip it. So you have to do some preparation before you actually start using the something. And the same thing with the mathematics. We are doing preparation before we start doing the something. What's the preparation, sir? Check to see if the coefficient of x squared is 1. If it is not 1, make it 1. You have to fix it. Then, sir, we can make something 1e. That by factoring out everything that is there. So you see that the coefficient of x squared now is -1. First thing I'm going to do is write back my question just like this. See, so boom. Same thing, put in my last term, same way like what I do question number 1. Same way like what I do question number 1, it not change. I saw it go work every single time. Every single time, that's how I'm going to do it. And then, because I have a -1 outside, sorry, I'm factoring out a -1 now. I'm factoring out a -1 from the expression here now. Let me just pause and say something here to you. Some teachers will say that you're dividing through by -1. But let me just pause and say something here. So you can't divide through by -1. You know why? Because you have an expression and not an equation. You can only divide through an equation. You can't divide through in an expression because the expression has no equal sign. So when you reach expression, instead of dividing through, we're going to say that we are factorizing. Watch me. In every positive number, how many negative numbers do we have? That was a question. In every positive number, how many negative numbers do we have? Hello?
Or is that a general statement?
I'm asking a question. I'm asking a question. In every positive number, how many negative numbers do I have?
There is 1 negative to a positive.
Say two. Say 2.
Or 2.
Yeah. So in every positive number, I have two negative numbers. So how you know that?
Yes.
Because when I multiply two negative numbers, I get a positive number.
Positive, yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
And in every positive number, I also have two positive numbers. Sir, you confuse me. Now we talk about 4. Okay, fine. So in 4, I can have a -2 and a -2. Sir, how? When I multiply -2 by -2, I get +4. Oh, I see it, sir. But so you could have +2 times +2 can give you +4 too. Very good. So in every positive number, I have 2 negative numbers. In every negative number, what do I have? In every negative number, what do I have? Lord Jesus, do not answer me now. Say 1 positive and 1 negative, sir. Say it.
1 positive and 1 negative.
Yeah, man. Same here, so. Because when I multiply a positive number with a negative number, I'm going to get a negative number. So in every positive number, I have 2 negative numbers or 2 positive numbers. But in every negative number, I got 1 single positive number and I got 1 single negative number. So in -1, how if you get 2 numbers out of that? Thanks for asking. So in -1, I have a -1 and a +1. Because when I multiply -1 to +1, I am going to get -1. So in every positive number, there are 2 negative numbers or 2 positive numbers. And in every negative number, I have a positive number and a negative number. All right? Think about that for 2 minutes, please. Everybody see what I'm talking about now? All right. We can press pause. We can press pause. Because let me tell you what I can do in the class. I can come to this class on a Saturday morning and daddy like Uno. Me tired to ask a question and have to ask a question 2 and 3 times before somebody answer. And some many times I answer my own question. I know so I can let them in my bed and do that. I can let them in my bed and just start mathematics. We not have to come online for come to this. Come on, guys. I mean, let us talk to me, man, please. Or if it is that you want to go off early, you can tell me, you know, we can arrange it.
No, sir. You have to understand that. We are not much genius like you, sir.
Okay.
Things you have to digest in our brains.
Fair enough.
And everything like this.
And I appreciate that. But for crying out loud, when I answer a question, say to me, sir, I'm still processing. Let me know that I'm not here alone. Because in my headspace, I'll have a drop asleep again. In my headspace, sitting up. Uno left the device in the bedroom and in the kitchen I boil the porridge. And I'm enjoying myself, talking to myself and answering, asking the questions and answering. So I want the engagement. I want to know that you are there. Sir, I'm looking at something, sir. Sir, how you get this? Don't sit down and try to figure it out on your own. You see something that is puzzling you right there, so just stop me and ask me. That's what them pay me for, you know. And that's why I became a teacher, because I want to help people. But the Bible says you're supposed to be, yes, I know, supposed to be, you know, because me this weird seminar teacher more Saturday morning class. Because in the last, and it's not only because of COVID, because when I just went into COVID, I had some very vibrant classes. But in the last couple of Saturday morning classes I have for the last couple of semesters, I said to myself, this is it. This is it. And trust me, I feel like this is it for real. I cannot believe that I'm coming to a class and talking to students and students not responding. Let me know what is happening. Because you know what is true? There are one or two of you inside there that don't have a clue what you're talking about. If you get a test right about now, sir, we can do the test next week because you have a clue. But guess what? You sit down and not answer nothing. Come on, man. I don't want that to happen. I'm giving you the opportunity and I'm creating an environment that is conducive for learning. Talk to me, man. I start off the class very light. Then we talk a little serious something. Then we get into the business of work. Work with me, man. All right. Any questions? Where were we? We were.
So it's plug that one, that blue one, negative one, that is where -3, -4 in parentheses, -1 is the blue one a one that you plugged in?
No, not plugged in. Not plugged in. What I've done, because the coefficient of x squared is -1, what I have done is to factor out -1 from the expression. So in factoring, because I must make the coefficient of x squared 1. So you see, when I factor out the -1 from the x squared, look at what I have in what is now the coefficient of x squared in parentheses.
Negative.
No, man, look, no, man, Virgin. Look at the number in front of x squared inside of the parentheses and tell me what number it is.
Oh, 4.
If I clap you this morning, you see you. Look at x squared, no man, and tell me.
Sir, x squared.
That line here, so that line here, so that one here, so tell me what is now the coefficient of x squared inside the parentheses.
Sir, I'm not seeing a pointer. That I'm not seeing.
No, I mean, not point. I'm going to tell you the answer. I'm not tell you the answer. Look, duh, it is not 1. So what I'm saying to you is the coefficient of x squared here is no +1. Talk truth.
Oh, okay.
Is what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
What was it before?
Was a negative.
Thank you, please. So you see it up here, so being a negative. So what I have done is to factor out the coefficient of x squared so that the coefficient of x squared can now be 1. Because the coefficient of x squared has to be 1 before I can find half the coefficient of x and then squaring. So I must make the coefficient of x squared 1. How do I make that, sir? Or how do I do that? By factoring. Any number in front of x squared, I'm going to factor it out. And thereby making the coefficient of x squared 1. But guess what? I can't just factor out the coefficient of x squared alone, you know. I have to factor out everything else. So in order for me to do that, look at what I end up having. I have to do. This second term is going to be divided by this. Anything that is outside here, so is going to be divided by that something here. In here, so if I had a -2 out here, so the 4 going to be divided by -2. If I have a billion out here, so the 4 going to be divided by the billion. Any number out here, so that I factor out going to be divided by the number here, so as a middle term. All right, and then I close my parentheses, and then I have my -3. So this -1 that I factor out here, so let us check to see if it comes back. -1 times x squared is -x squared. See it here, so yes, sir, you're right. I don't remember who it was, but I don't know if it's Jerome. Jerome, was it you who was explaining this? Why the person got a -1? I don't know. Forgive me. I'm still trying to get the voice difference.
There's me, says Shanti. I just don't have any voice.
Okay, all right, Shanti. Shanti don't have any voice, but it's Shanti. Thank you, Shanti. So Shanti was saying that because of that negative sign, and she's correct. Look at what is happening here. This here is -1 times this +4 will give me a -4. And then that -4 divided by -1. When you divide two negative numbers, I get a positive number. So -4 divided by -1 going to give me back this +4. And then I have nothing else to multiply the -1 by, so I'm going to leave it alone, and then the -3 come back up here. So I have not changed my expression none at all. This expression in this third line is the same as the expression in the second line, is the same as the original question given. All right. So now look at what I've done. I am now saying 4 divided by negative 1, positive 4 divided by negative 1, now becomes a negative 4. So that's why I put this negative 4 right here. And now the coefficient of x squared is positive 1. All right. So that's my aim. So see what I'm saying to you? I did say to you, and I don't know how many of you listened to what I was saying. This method is the same method as the first one, except that we have 2 more lines to write. Anybody remember me saying that?
Yes, sir.
See the 2 lines here? The first line here, so, and the one and down here, so. Or you say, but sir, this line here always right. Okay, fine. And the line here, and then the line here. All right? So I'm just writing those first. Now that I know that the coefficient of x squared is positive 1, I can now go ahead and find half the coefficient of x and then square it. You can't use half the coefficient of x and square it if the coefficient of x squared is not 1. Your question is going to be wrong. It is going to be wrong. You can't make fruit juice and put sugar in there. It's just wrong because you already have natural sugar in the fruit juice, in the fruits then. It's just some things are just wrong. All right. So look at what certain.
Where the negative 2 square come from?
Negative 2 square. All right, I'm not reach to say. I got it now. So now that the coefficient of x squared is 1, I'm finding half the coefficient of x and then square it. I'm not going to tell you say about this part again because the coefficient of x is a number in front of x. What number is in front of x, sir? Is negative 4. No, negative 4, yes, sir. So the coefficient of x is a number in front of x. The coefficient of x is a number in front of x. The coefficient of x is the number in front of x. So I'm finding half of this number, which is negative 4. So half of negative 4 is negative 2. Then I have to square it. When I square negative 2, I'm going to get positive 4. So negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. This now becomes my last term. So you see, my last term is supposed to, where them have them dot there is where my last term is supposed to be. So look at what I'm doing now. This negative 1 that is outside here, so see it right here, so. Then I'm going to have my x squared minus 4x, see it right here, so. X squared minus 4x. Then I'm putting my positive 4, which is my last term. But watch it. Remember, you have to put it in first, take it out after. You can't take it out before you put it in. Trust me. You have to put it in first, then you take it out after. So what are you talking about? This has to be a positive sign. This has to be a positive sign first, and then I take it out. See I have the minus 3 right there, so? Oh, so it's because you put in a positive 4 here, so sir, you have to put negative 4 right here, so, but sir, why I have negative 1? Thank you for asking. So this positive 4 inside here, so, is being multiplied by this negative 1. Is being multiplied by this negative 1. So, because this positive 4 in here is being multiplied by this negative 1, I have to multiply this negative 4 by the same negative 1. Sir, why? All right, let me tell you a secret. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. Don't.
Yes, sir.
Good. So when we multiply that 1, you're negative. Yeah.
Sir,
So,
you can just do me a favor, please.
and beautify it a little bit more.
No, sir. When you're talking, sir,
Oh,
can you just move
yeah. I see
No.
what's
Me I tell one secret, that's why my voice go down a while ago. We can tell you one secret. This negative 1 times positive 4, our negative 4. So right there, so I have one negative 4. So in order for it to cancel out, when you multiply the negative 4 here by the negative 1, I'm going to get positive 4. So the negative 4 right there, so I will cancel out the positive 4 right there. So now I go change the expression, and that's the point I'm trying to make. So all of what I'm doing, I am trying not to change my expression. And it is very important that I not change the expression because I am not allowed to change the expression. If I change the expression, it means that I am going to be working with another question and not the question that is given. So that's why the -1 here, I forgot multiply by the -1 right out here. So very important. And if we work it out and see what we get.
So how you know when you have to put the half?
You put the half every single time. The half right here, so? The half you you're talking about?
Yeah, half.
Every time. Every time. The one over 2.
So you know which half you talk?
The half you just me ask and say, yeah.
I don't see where cursor point.
You don't see the cursor right here, so?
No, sir.
Anybody see the cursor?
No, sir.
No, sir. No cursor.
Okay. Oh, maybe that's why. All right. The half is when we have the half in brackets and then the -4 equals -2. The half.
Yeah, the half, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the one you talk?
Yes, sir. Every time if I do.
But you see, the only reason I can say that, you know, Papa, I only one half me sit on the screen. Talk truth. I'm trying to find my
The cursor turn ghost, sir. I'm gonna see it now.
Yeah, but I only one half up on the screen. That's the point I make. Oh, I am not signed in as a host, so maybe that's why I have.
Sorry,
yes.
question. So we can do it using method 2, sir, because method 1 look long.
You can use it method 2, you know, but you see the thing about it, as a good teacher, I have to teach you both methods. So you now choose which method you prefer. All right, my spotlight is not working. My spotlight is not working. I don't know why I'm not getting it here because I'm not signed in as a host. You know, we'll soon finish. Okay. All right. I'm not seeing the spotlight. But you see the half now though, right? Tell me.
Yes, miss. Yes, sir.
Yes, good. All right. Now, if you look at it, Shanti, yes. Oh, share back screen? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Let me let me go back to Zoom. And share my screen, and hopefully it comes up now. Are you seeing it?
Sure.
All right, good. All right, good. All right, so, and then now this 4 is going to come inside here. Oh, I was working out this piece. -4 times -1 is +4, so I'm going to have -3 plus 4, that gives me +1. -3 plus 4, all of this works out to be +4. I'm going to have +1. So this +1 is going to go right here, so. And then what I'm going to have now is all of this, that is going to give me the perfect squares to be x minus 2. So why minus? When the sign here is a positive sign, it says that 2 signs in another bracket are going to be the same sign, and I'm going to look like that sign here. So that's why the sign is negative, and it's going to be the square root of this 4 to give me this 2. So it's going to be negative, open bracket, x minus 2 all squares plus 1. So yes, Shante, your question is correct. I have to teach you both methods. And I'm going to tell you why, Shante. Both methods are very important, because when I move to question, this is 3, 4, 5, you're going to see why this method is very important. So this method has its advantages. It has its advantages, and
Sir, so where the next 4 come from in our bracket?
which 4? The one here, sir? Which 4? You know, so
x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus 1.
The plus 1. Which 4 you talk about? The one, the pink 4 or the purple 4?
No, man. I already established the pink 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
I said, where the 4 come from? Like, underneath the Jesus, that's I'm on the cursor and I'm on.
Yeah, I don't know why the cursor. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can do something on screen right here. So,
Yeah, see cursor there, right? That's the cursor there. Not the red. Above the red. Right.
oh, so you see the cursor now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Are the four you talk about?
Yes, sir. Where you come from?
That one, the four years so are the same four years so. See it
Also,
so?
if you come same way.
Yeah, man. The only reason I put this four in purple, is to show you that this is when we find half the coefficient of x and square it, and we put it in as a plus four, and we take it out as a minus four right here. So that's the only reason that this and this and this are the same color. But now that we establish that x squared here are the x squared, the negative 4x here are the negative 4x here, and the positive 4 here so are the positive 4 right here so. And the one right out here so are the one when we evaluate with all of them ugly looking something here so negative 3 minus 4 times negative 1 a positive 1. That's how we put it right here so. Talk to me.
It's all right to me.
All right, good. So Shanti is correct, Shanti says, sir, um, right about now, my voice now to work with me now. I may feel so much better using the method 2. Me can use method 2? Yeah. I know one can use method 2. Except that, when still have to learn a method here. Because this method has its advantages and it has its disadvantages. All right? Has its advantages and its disadvantages. So whereas method 2 works every single time, there are times I will ask you a question. There are times I'll ask you a question and method 2 can't give me that question. And I want you to hear me out because come next semester, once you're successful with Foundation Concept 3, you're going to be moving to pre-calculus. And if me ever catch you for pre-calculus, I'm going to remind you that we did this in Foundation Concept 3. When we move to things like Pascal's triangle, it'll go come back for haunt us. The same something here. And then when we move now to either calculus 1, calculus 2, or business calculus, then 3 calculus course there, you're going to hear me talk about turning point, stationary point, and critical point. You see the word vertex? We can put that in the mix too. We can call it vertex or turning point or stationary point or critical point. We can call it any one of the 3 something them. Because them all mean the same thing. All right? All mean the same something. All right, let's go. So, yes, Shanti, you can use the other method. If the question said to you, write in the form a open bracket x plus h all squared plus k, and hence sketch the graph, sure, run it like that and use the other method. Run out. And of course, let us just look at the plot quickly. The vertex is going to be 2. You remember you're going to set whatsoever inside the parenthesis to be equals to 0. So it's going to be this x minus 2 equals 0. You see the cursor still? This x minus 2 equals 0. And you're going to work out this and you're going to get x equals 2. You're going to get x equals 2. And then this 2 is my x value, so it comes first. So when I'm writing my ordered pair, I'm going to have x written first and then y written after. So how we can remember that? X come before y in the alphabet, I think. Yeah, you have x, then y, then z. Yeah, man. So x come first, then y come after. And if there are one z, then z will be after the y. All right? So talk to me now. So my vertex is going to be 2, 1. X is 2.
Yes, sir. How you work out the x minus 2 equals 0? We get the 0.
Because I'm setting the function equal. I'm equaling the what's in the parentheses equals to 0 because I'm trying to find
Sir, you're gone, Sir. Anybody here, sir?
Oh.
why
gone. We not hear you, sir.
Nothing, sir. Nothing I hear.
I'm officially gone now.
Bro, I should have there the last class in my right now. My last, like a bot.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're back now.
I'm back now. All right. Antoine, I heard that piece. Maybe you didn't want sir to hear it. When sir did gone, you must have said, thank you, Jesus. We can't talk all last maybe. But sir, come back right in time to hear say last like a bat. All right. So you need to work. So what I'm saying to you is, I don't know if anybody.
Sir, your screen gone.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get it back up.
Gone again, sir. Can see your mic
Um,
but gone again, sir.
Anybody hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello? Anybody hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I did establish it from earlier that I decided that I wanted to be outside this early Saturday morning. So I'm using my data because when I'm at a particular place outside, I can't pick up the Wi-Fi. So my data died. Ouch. So I just recognized that happened. So it was picking up the Wi-Fi, so the Wi-Fi is not as strong on the outside. So I apologize for that. So now that I'm charging the data, we should be good to go again. Let me go back and reshare my screen. I think I was answering Antwin when him say me lost like a bat. But Antwin, right here, so are you seeing my screen? Are you seeing my cursor?
Yes, sir. But Mr. Melas like a bot, it's because today is my actor. It's the first day, I'm a actor.
I don't me I talk about you know. That's the same to me I talk about, man. So that's what I'm saying. Just work with me because we're trying to sort this out together. So I'm not saying it disparagingly. Ouch. Let's go. So I'm trying to find the value of y. So right here, so y is equals to negative, open bracket, x minus 2 all squares plus 1. So when I put all of this equals to 0, when all of this goes to 0, then I'm able to find my y value, because remember now, y is equals to all of this. Sir, how you know y equals all of that? Oh, it's not y, it's f of x, but f of x is y, right? So f of x equals to all of that. So all of what I'm talking about here is f of x. So f of x, which is y, is equals to negative, open bracket, x minus 2 all squares plus 1. So when I put all of this equals to 0, I know that y going to be equals to 1. And that's why I have y equal 1 here, because this is in the y position. So in order to get 0 right here, I have to put this equals to 0. So I'm going to have x minus 2 equals 0. And when x minus 2 is equals to 0, I'm going to have x to be equals to 2. So the coordinate, my ordered pair, is going to be 2, 1. When x is equals to 2, y is equals to 1. Right? What does this mean? Watch a graph. What does this mean? And incidentally, before you watch a graph, you notice that my function originally is negative. Talk truth.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So when the function is negative, how do you spell negative?
N-E-G-A-T-I-V-E.
All right, thank you very much, Papa. And so the first letter is?
N.
Good. What does graph look like?
N-ish.
N-ish. Very good. It looks N-ish. So you cannot forget what the negative graph looks like. The negative graph is going to look N-ish, right? My positive graph will look
E-ish.
U-ish. All right. And you see, this is positive also. It looks U-ish, don't?
Yes, sir.
Good. So the positive graph will look like a U every single time. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, and forever. While the negative graph is going to look like a N. N for negative. You can't forget that now, you know. You can't forget that now. All right? All right, hold on a minute, please. Hold on a minute, please. All right. Now, yeah, so that's how we get the stuff. So let us look at the curve. I am going up and up and up until I reach a point where I'm going to be calling the amplitude. The amplitude, the highest point on the graph. The amplitude. And then when I get to that point, it then starts to decrease. This here becomes now my turning point or my vertex. My turning point or my vertex. That's where the graph now changes direction. That's how we call it turning point. That's where the graph now changes direction. All right? And that's what it is. I've done this one using the method 1. I want you now to do the question for me using the other method to see if we get the same answer. Start now for me, please.
Sir, method 2 is the K equal C B square over 4A, right?
Yeah.
So I was trying that, and when I got to the part when I squared the B square divided by the 4A, I end up with -7. So I was wondering how to proceed. I get -3, -4, and I know when you have two negative, you add and keep the sign.
Of the what? Of the what? I don't keep the sign what? You can't just copy that, so I don't keep the sign where?
-3, so K equal -3, -4, or -3, -4.
So
Stop.
-4. Stop. You said when you're adding, you're gonna something like that, and keep the sign. Keep the sign of the bigger number.
Right, which it would be a negative number just the same, right? So I had -3, -4, which I know I am to add and keep the sign, so it would be -7.
Check again. Check your fractional portion for me again. Right, and by the rest of you do it, and then you can confirm what it is that he's saying to me.
Right, because it's 4 squared, sir. 4 squared, 16. So I got 16 over 4.
And what is 16 over 4?
I got -4.
Okay. Did you get what do you got for the value of H?
The value of H.
Sir, tell him, you're right. I don't know who's talking, but -3. You're going to keep the sign that is a minus, then you put -4. Do not watch the minus sign that is there. Remember, it's the equation that is always going to be there, but you need to put down that as -4 as well. So you put in the calculator as -3 minus -4, and it give you the answer. So what you put in the calculator was -3 minus 4. That gave you 7, -7. You need to put in -3 minus -4, which is equal to 1.
Well, see what you're saying. So I need an extra negative. Well, I need a minus sign.
Yes, you need to put the minus sign back in the
numbers.
equation. Yes.
Okay, and that would change it. All right.
That was very good, guys. I sat back and I just listened to somebody in the class was helping another student. This is what we're all about. Somebody understanding or sharing an idea. It makes it better for you as a student who is sharing and helping somebody else. So very good. Congrats. Sorry.
Sir?
Yeah.
Nah, lie, sir. Me I try second method, sir.
Speak up for me, please. You are very low.
I'm trying the second method, sir, for work that one, yes, sir. And me nah lie, it hard. The first method look easier.
All right, then, no problem. I'm going to help you.
Look
I'm going to help
easier.
you. No problem.
I understand it from the first method, but the second method hard. Me nah lie.
Anybody else?
Sir, you said it's the age formula we should use, right?
Yeah.
Sir, I got 3.
You got 3?
But I
You
do
got 3 for H?
no for age, sir, I got 4 upon 4.
You got 4 over 4?
Yes, sir. Is that correct?
4 over 4 is 1, but I have negative 1 for H.
Oh, so basically once the 4 should be negative, which is the 4 upon the top.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's how I get the negative one.
Mm-hmm. Let us see if we can go. Work with me. You have it in paper, on paper. Remember I said to you that well, I'm not writing, but you have it on paper. Let me see if this device gives me the opportunity to write. So, boy, I'm not using my writing tablet here, so this thing not coming off. Good. H is equals to B all over 2A. All right. What is the value of B?
-4.
Very good. And what's the value of A? What's the value of
1.
What's the value of A?
1.
No. What is the coefficient of A? 2.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Right, yes, sir.
Can let you see that?
Yes, sir, I see that.
Yeah, man, it's easy. 1, 2, 3, no. So H is equal to somebody talking very low. H is equal to B over 2A. H is equal to B over 2A. First, write down what your value of A is, your value of B, your value of C. H is equal to B over 2A. You know what your B is, -4. Put it over 2 times 2. 2 times 2, 2 times 2 is 4. So we have -4 over 4. So H is going to be equal to -1. And that's why in my stuff here I have X minus 1. Because the minus 1 is my H. Now I need to work with my K. K is going to be equal to C minus B squared over 4 times A. What is C?
Five, sir.
All right. I want all of you to write this though because I'm not going to write this on screen. So you can write K equals 5 minus B squared. So it's going to, after the minus sign, you're going to have a fraction. You're going to have -4 squares. -4 in the numerator. Squares. All over 4 times A. So it's going to be 4 times 2.
Hold on, sir. Write it down, sir.
So we shall get 16 over 8.
Very good.
And I get 2.
Very good. And 5 minus 2 equal?
3.
Magic. So how did he get 2? -4 squares is equals to 16. -4 squares is equals to 16. And 4 times 2 is 8. So you have 16 over 8. And 16 over 8 is going to be equal to 2. And 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. See there? That 3 right here, so. So I get back the same answer.
Oh, so that's one way of working it out.
Yeah, that's some other method.
Sir, so when you work that method, sir, you don't have to do the 2x, the factorizing part, sir,
Mm-hmm.
with the K method.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
This 2 is a coefficient of x squared, you know. That 2 is a coefficient of x squared.
Sir, I know it's a job to teach all methods, you know. But just find out easier method. Because this is super easy than that.
Well, fair enough. That's what I said. And it's not for me to tell you, say, learn this method, you know. My aim is to teach you all the methods, and then now you decide which of them you are most comfortable with. I, however, will say to you, this one seemingly is easier because you don't have to now decide if the coefficient of x squared is positive or if it is negative or if it is greater than 1 or less than 1. You don't have to figure out all of that. You just go ahead and jump into your h equals to b over 2a and your k to be equals to c minus b squared over 4a, right? You can just jump into that. However, there is a need for this. Let me word this question differently for you. So they can say to you, for argument's sake, I think you have some exercises like this on Edico. They can say to you, how to make write y equals 2x squared minus 4x as a perfect squares. As a perfect squares. Yes, you can use both methods, but one of the methods, the most preferred method now, based on what I'm hearing Antoine saying, may not readily come to mind. Let us keep the question as it is, because it's pretty much the same thing. Find the vertex of the parabola. Sir, parabola, same difference. Some YouTube will call it parabola. Parabola, right? Because then we give the emphasis on the second vowel. Parabola. We give the emphasis on the first vowel. Parabola. Just like data, they call it data. Data, right? Data. Because there's emphasis on the second vowel. So that's why they call it parabola. But we call it parabola. Same difference. What I'm saying to you is, you recognize that that has only two terms, x squared, 2x squared minus 4, and it does not have a constant term. It has a coefficient of x squared, it has the coefficient of x. What's the value of the constant? The value of the constant equals?
C.
And what is c? Tell me the c value here, so.
In the number 5.
In number 5, what is the value of c?
4.
Everybody agrees with that? It has to be 0. C has to be 0.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. C has to be 0. So find the vertex for me, please. All of you, find the vertex for me, please.
Sir, 1 and -2. Sir?
Everybody all right?
Sir, is it 1 and -2?
Soon tell you.
I'm unrelated now. Could I speak to you after class when everyone has left?
That's what you got? Talk to me now. Are you agree with that?
Yes, sir, that's what I got.
40 said 1 though, and not -1. You said 1 and -2. So I see the -2, but what value of H? Was H 1 or -1 for you?
Just 1.
No, check that again. Supposed to be -1.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Sir, me get a +2.
Check again.
All right, sir, I've got to explain this now.
Talk to me now.
Sir,
Mm.
oh, the -2, sir. Because it's 0 -2.
Very distant, very distant.
Sir, where you get the -2, sir? If you for instance, like okay, on a value k is 0, so that's a 0 -2.
K is C is equal to 0, not K.
Yes, sir. That matter about C.
Mm.
C equals 0, so that says 0 -2. As in how you get the -2 out there, sir. Cause me I try figure out how me get the negative sign, sir. And that me I try to, sir.
Um,
Sir, me see the mistake I'm make.
I'm happy. I'm happy. And I'm going to come back to that All right. So C is 0. So you can have 0 minus B squared. So C 0 minus 4, negative 4 squares over 4 times 2, which is 8. So negative 4 squares is going to be equal to 16. So you can have 0 minus 16 over 8. And 16 over 8 is 2. So you can have 0 minus 2, which is equal to negative 2. So K is equal to negative 2. Follow me?
Yes, sir. I see empty media, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. What about the others? You know, we're teaching way too long for us to those things about this Saturday morning, everybody understanding what you're talking about. You know, what about the others? Afia, Tristan, Wakib.
Some methods I'm not understanding, but some methods I find rather easy to understand.
Okay, so are you understanding more the second method than the first? That's what you're saying, right?
Sir,
Right.
can you scroll up to number 4? I just need to see something real quick. All right, thank you, sir.
Sir, we're satisfied in number 4 question. That is where the 0 would be.
Say it again.
Sir, asking we have the 5. Number 4 question is that where we would have the 0, or am I incorrect?
Yeah, that's where you have the 0 for number 5. That's what you're asking?
Yes, sir.
Yes, honey. Yes.
But sir, I was doing that, but I'm not getting your answers.
Do me a favor. Take a picture of it, what you're doing, and put it in a WhatsApp group. Let me look at it.
Sir, we can just send it to you.
So why do you want to share it with somebody? All right, send it to me then.
Sir, I have a little concern. Sir, plotting on Educom sometimes look a bit hard. I don't know if the computer tried to trick me or what. Sir, this morning about 12 or 8 but 8 to 10 equation my work. Sir, and I get the vertex and everything, but when I'm supposed to plot it, like when I put it on, it's saying it's incorrect, and when I check the solution, they give me something else. So I say, all right, next time I go try that way. Then when I try it that way, it'll tell me say it wrong. I have to try about the other way. I say, listen, computer. It's like our early morning, don't make me forget. I need to go sleep like this morning. So I was just vexed because I have a book that I write and I go through and I write. I mean, I say like, why is this thing messing with my brain? Most of the vertexes have 1, like 1, 3, 1, 6, 1, whatever. I plot the 1. I mean, say like, what is man? So I don't know if I don't think I'm doing anything wrong because I get the vertex is correct. However, when it comes on to plotting, I don't know if I have to shrink it sometimes. I just want to understand the pattern so I don't get it wrong, because I get one wrong and I just say whatever.
Sir, we should have to do, sir. We need to learn the other side.
problem.
All right, so I'm hearing three people now saying that they have the same problem. Let me just correct something as I hear it. So one vertex, many vertices, right? So the plural of vertex is vertices. So I want all of you to get that. So you speak about one vertex, but you have two or more vertices, just like when you speak of one matrix, and then you have two or more matrices. All right. So that's the first thing. The second thing now is at the bottom of those graphs, you see, there is a slider that you have to slide for the coefficient of x squared. And that's what you guys not doing.
Yes, sir, you have to stretch it to the two.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What, sir?
You have to stretch it. So there is a slider underneath the graph that when the coefficient of x squared is not 1, you have to stretch the graph or shrink it accordingly. So there is a slider there.
Yeah.
And if everything is right here, don't slide it, the question may be wrong. So that is the problem.
Sir, I only thought that was there for aesthetics. I was just playing with it. I'm move it up and down, but girl don't know what to do with it, sir. So I just think make me see them. Sir, me slide it up and down, sir.
Let me tell you something. If no other teacher ever tell you them like you, me going tell you me like you. No,
see, me never listen. They never in the instruction. It never tell me to slide it up. I say shrinking us, sir, but I'm thinking they want me to shrink it so I can see what I'm doing. But I never know that impacted my graph, sir.
Father God, I pray that you forgive her for in bed undercovers, Lord, because she sat up and do work and then thought, Lord, that my slider was aesthetic.
Yes,
Father,
sir.
forgive her in Jesus' name. No, you know.
Yep. All right, sir. I'm gonna try math from the part.
Yeah, but I will see if I can do one or two of those in class because I'm hearing other people saying that they have the same thing. But yeah, it is not only aesthetically beautiful, but it is there for a purpose.
No, I know, sir.
Trust me. You know, sometimes we buy some ready-to-make furniture. And we have to scrub, you know, in particular, you know, like a computer stand or, you know, one of them little side tables, I forgot, scrub and put it, and then when you finish, they recognize you have 4 screws left over. And I said, sure.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And then now, all of a sudden, you see something just, all of a sudden, you see something just pop off, and you wonder, what is happening? Actually, never did screw it up. Then he never did use up all of the screw them. So yeah, but we can read. We have half an hour left. Let me see how best I can maximize these half an hour, these 30 minutes. Are we okay with this now? You see how we get the stuff, right? So I did it both ways. And as I said before, you have this thing on the thing. See here? The negative 4 squares, 4 times 2, so if you have negative 16 over 8, so you have negative 2. So it works both ways. And then I give you a question 6, and you have a 7 to work with for me. So so you have 2 more questions to work. When I give you, it's like when I give you this paper, and what's it, Jerome? Anyway, somebody says, sir, you know, truth be told,
Sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm not in the WhatsApp group, and also, Intercept is open to us, no?
Intercept has been open from the first day.
So just use the credentials, which is my username and welcome password.
No, sir, I'll have to give you access. So, who is this? Antwin?
Yes, sir. Can someone send the link, please, as well?
Right. Somebody can send the link for the WhatsApp. Somebody can send the link for the WhatsApp, and I will just send me your email address and get you added to the Edicosoft. All right. All right. Now, where was I going? I was going somewhere with you guys. Yeah. So somebody at the start of the class said that they didn't know that the stuff was to be. They only did one question on the handout. It is not for aesthetics why I gave you. I'm using Miss Albert's word. It's not for aesthetics why I give you these many questions. So I said to my student, I love your honesty. So I'm leaving 2 questions in my document that I'm going to be expecting you to work. And work fully. Now, what I have done today, I don't finish it. I just have a little housekeeping to do and then to go to Edico, because every class I should go on to Edico to show you 1 or 2 stuff. Where was I going? Right. I want to get from you, and I do this ever so often in my online classes, just to get some feedback from you. If you're understanding in this modality, let me know. And guess what? I really want your honesty, because when I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking from a perspective of being honest. When I did my work last week, I'm a cussing out, I was being very honest. So I want you to be very honest with me with the delivery, with what it is that I'm doing. Let me know to see what I need to do to improve on it, because the classes for the summer semester are all online, and I want to know that I'm reaching you. I want to know that I'm reaching you. So if there is anything that you need to say to me, sir, your internet is a distraction, or sir, me not see the screen well, or me not hearing you, or me just not understand when you're teaching, or I don't even like your teaching methodology. I mean, whatever it is, let me know so that I can create a remedy for you. I do this with all my groups to see how best I can reach not just a few students, but all the students. So let me hear that, please. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to deal with those housekeeping matters before I move on to Edicosoft.
Well, I think you're an excellent teacher, sir, to be really honest with you. But when you say summer semester classes are online, is it a case where we will never meet face to face? Even one time?
For the Foundation Concept 3? Or for other classes?
For the 3.
For the 3. All right. I won't say never ever, but it will have to be so arranged. So like last week when you weren't here, Antwin, you know, I had to go to the market because I had no food in the house. But the students were doing some work for me while I was otherwise engaged. And then we came back and did the stuff. So I came back and had a class, you know, right? But it will have to be so arranged. But what I can say to you is that there was an understanding that the classes are going to be online. So most of the classes will be on. I don't want to tell you that I am going to have a face-to-face class and then it don't work out and then it says, sir, you lied to me. Because I really want.
I understand, sir. But for the persons, I'm just saying, for the persons who would like to be online, where you can both, you can have face-to-face and online. So I don't know if something can speak to administrator. Right?
No, man, and that's what I'm saying to you. For the summer, it was we had town hall meetings. I don't know if anybody else was there and can verify or vouch with what it is that I'm saying. That the classes are going to be online. That the classes are going to be online. So if there is going to be any face-to-face, it will have to be an arrangement between teacher and class. So that's what I'm saying to you. I don't know what will happen a little later on to see if I'll be available to say, let us come in a little one time for a face-to-face, and those who don't want to come still can sit on online, because if I'm going to have a face-to-face, I will still log on to Zoom. I will still project my work like I'm projecting now. and I will go to the board, and then I will also project my camera to the board so that people still can be a part of. So, Antoine, what I'm saying to you, it is largely dependent on the lecturer, not administration. Administration says that classes will be online, exams will be online, but if the lecturer, and if you're doing a practical course, like if you're doing like in a lab course, a hands-on computer course, or hospitality, or, well, the hospitality students are not here, but if you're doing anything practical, yes, it's going to be hybrid. Hybrid meaning that you have to come in a section for the stuff. But so as I'm saying to you just now, I can't say to you that next week we're going to meet face to face, because it will have to be something that is planned for me. Right about now, I am trying to cover all the deliverables. You notice you don't get all the grades yet. You notice some people still don't get all their overrides because some of the grades don't come in yet, and I have to do all of that. So I am pretty much engaged otherwise. So I'll have to clear everything to know that, okay, I'm fully clear. I can give up a Saturday before that can happen. So we can talk further on that. No problem. But go ahead.
Yes.
No problem. I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
It looked like, what about next semester?
No, next semester we're supposed to return to the face-to-face modality, no, Krishna.
Okay.
We're supposed to return to the face-to-face modality.
Even for evening student?
Me think so, yeah.
That I go rough, sir. That I go rough.
Why?
Sir, me can't tell you this, sir. You know what I'm saying? I did the biggest mistake then do to make everything go. To make COVID come play a part now. When we start schooling at this farm. So
and you love it, don't?
Yes, we said everything around it, sir.
Yeah, man. I know, Jerome, you're not the only one. The person who just asked if the first semester too, I know why he asked the question, because having engaged with him last semester, I'm sure he likes, quite frankly, the online modality. Am I speaking out of turn, Krishna?
No, sir, tell the truth.
Yeah. So I know some students love the online. It leaves a lot of flexibility for students, you know. It's like how Ava, let me trouble Ava now, because since she loves to be troubled, it's like how Ava could have just turn over and in her bed under her covers and listen to me. Just think about Ava have to come out, good girl have to get dressed, drive come to school and come sit down and look at me while sleep and work in her eye, you know. So Ava go say, sir, may they really have to come here, sir, or I could have laid on my bed and just listen to you.
You know where, so you just hit the head right off.
Next semester it won't be hybrid, just fully straight face to face.
Well, to be honest with you, Antoine, I can't answer that yet because the administration has not come to us to give us any directive on the way forward for next semester, which is why I answered Krishna the way I answered him. With what is happening now, I would think that we're going to be returning face to face next semester. However, let me just clear it up. However, say next year you move guys, not say, you guys moving on for the most part to foundation concept, to pre-calculus. What could possibly happen is if we have 4 pre-calculus groups, we can have 3 face-to-face pre-calculus group and 1 online, all right? So what we're trying to do is we recognize that there is an importance of online, and personally for me, I invest in quite a bit of gadgets. You see, I talk about my data pack. I went and I buy data pack and I buy extra data from the telephone company that I'm actually using in my class. It's an additional expense to me. So if I can't get onto my Wi-Fi, I'm on my data, right? So that my class does not get disturbed. I have my writing tablet. I have my document camera. I have invested so much personal resources from this online stuff. So I am saying to you, personally, I would feel very disappointed if all the personal resources that I would have put in place, I can no longer use. What am I saying? I'm saying that, yes, I would support the online delivery, the continued online delivery, but I also understand that there are some students who want them face-to-face. So I believe what is going to happen for September morning, is that we are going to have a hybrid approach where some of the classes are face-to-face and some of the classes are online. But I can't tell you which is going to be which, but I'm just figuring out this is what is going to happen.
That would be fair to the student. And if we get a student union president, I think he or she should speak out for the student.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you from where I sit, this is where I think we are going to go. But we need to work out some stuff because you can't, for example, Antoine, you can't say you're doing pre-calculus face-to-face, but your situation now has changed from at work where they want you to come in to work late at night. So you will say, sure, I'm going to do some online class, but me in a face-to-face. It can't work so because it means now that you're going to have two different teachers, and in order for us to coordinate, I may give a different class activity than the other teacher, and maybe other activities come from that. So there are some things that they have to work out because with students can't say, I am a face-to-face, I'm doing my course face-to-face, but decide to sure, I don't feel to go school today, so I'm going to join the online class. It don't work. So what will happen? You're face-to-face, you're face-to-face. You're online, you're online. So we can't have the vacillation between groups and, oh, I'm going to go foreign for 1 month, so I'm going to switch to online, and then I'm going to come back and switch back to face-to-face. It's not going to work, so, right? So those are some of the teething pains that we have to work out as administration and as heads of schools and heads of departments, right? So that's just how it is. All right, go ahead, please.
Is an override approval confirmation that I've passed the course before?
Okay, yes. So some grades are not yet posted, but I have the grade sheets in my possession. Okay. So when I go on the system and I don't see a grade posted and I pull up the grade sheet from what my lecturers would have sent to me, I am seeing the grade there, so I just go ahead and just give the override. I said passing grade there, so I go ahead and give the override. Now here what is happening. No, hold up. Those grades that I have in my possession are only provisional. So it's only the grades that are posted on the system that can be taken as final. So what I would have done is look at something. So if somebody get pass foundation concept 2, but pass it with a 50%, I don't think that I am, and the grade is not posted, I am not one who is going to go and give the override, because if any adjustments made, that student can fail. You see what I'm saying? But if a student passes the course comfortably, they get a 60 enough or a 70 enough or a 70 a little bit even, I say, well, any adjustments made to these grades, the student will still pass the course. I'll go ahead and give the stuff. So it is only provisional. I give the provisional stuff so the grades can change, which is why I don't say anything in the messages that I send out to say you have passed foundation concept 2 support and so on. I only give the override. So in the event that what happens, I may say to you that seeing that I gave you the override, continue with the course, but you have to redo this particular course. That makes sense right there, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. But I don't hear anybody, talk to me, students, especially if we're moving into online come next semester. I hear you, Antoine, thanks much for the commendation, but talk to me. What is it that I am not doing that you would want me to do so that you can make this online experience a little bit more beneficial to both teacher and students? I want to hear your honest feedback, because this will help me even for next week's class. Go ahead.
Sir, honestly, I don't mind you, personally, I don't mind you forcing me to do my thing every week, because FCM 1 and 2, we had the option of doing only 3. And, we are creatures of habit, so maybe wait until almost the last to run go do it. So now it is not only teaching me, or now it's forcing me to go and research and understand better the concept so I can apply myself. And it will also teach me not to procrastinate. So I don't mind it. So I like that part of it. So, I mean, in the event that you know, something happen and I'm short a grade, or I can choose my better grades, because my grades last semester wasn't so hot, but my passed, you know. So hopefully this semester my grades might be a little bit, but I'm okay with everything you're doing, sir. Honestly, I am.
Yeah, thanks, honey. Thanks, son.
Oh, sir, for me,
Mhm.
I'm good with it. I'm good with your class. Enjoy the class. I like the sternness that you give. I like how you decide say we need to finish up, because when I was doing foundation, when I waited like way down before even like me that those 9 of them, and then me just must be a long period of time, and then me just say because Miss Francis said she will close it soon or up and try to do. But I like the method that every class we must complete our session, because we will close it by 5. So I'm enjoying it so far.
Nice. Appreciate it. Thank you, honey. Anybody else?
Sir, for me, sir, could you use your writing pad a little bit more?
Okay. No problem.
Yes, sir, I like it in your
Yeah, no
measurement.
problem. No problem. I actually do. I'm not.
Sir,
Go ahead, honey. Go ahead,
it's
please.
Subrian. Sir, I'm waiting on your reply, sir. You were supposed to give me a reply and I didn't get any. So I wonder if I could call you after class or speak to you after class.
No, man, call me because me clueless what you're talking about. So call me immediately after class. Me clueless.
Okay.
All right, cool. Yeah. So you will oh goodness, I don't know who just spoke about it, but not to brain. But so yes, I do use the writing tablet, but there are times when I have to abandon it and just project the notes. So um the online delivery for me requires me to do a whole lot more work than the face-to-face. Listen to me. Let me see. Anybody in the class we used to teach face-to-face? Yeah, one person we teach face-to-face. You say when you come face-to-face class, me carry one duster and 3 marker. I mean, no, me I teach them something, I just make up question out of my head, and I just put on board and just explain it, and we're done. But now, I have to write the question, I have to do the solutions, so that you can see that. You notice what sir do? When sir finish, sir send you his notes that he uses in class. In the online face-to-face classes, you have to write your own stuff. We encourage you to write, as I did in class a while ago. I said to you, make sure you take out something and you write as I go along, right? So, but I also prepare stuff and send off to you so that you can have those electronic stuff, to go through. So it's a lot of preparation for me. So sometimes, yes. Sometimes I say, okay, fine. I remember teaching a class and the student says, sir, me now so you get it. And I say, okay, hold on. I'm just abandon the type up, and take out the writing tablet and use it. So I use them interchangeably, but I won't use it one more than the other, depending on the feel of the class and those students who are understanding. But point taken, I can drag it up come next class and I can definitely use it. I buy it. I'm paying good money for it too, so I never use it. All right, 2 more comments and then we move into something. 2 more comments.
Sir, greetings.
Bless up, Papa.
What I will say, and it is perhaps a Jamaican problem, from every level of learning, from basic, primary, secondary, tertiary. There are students who some learn quicker than others. There are students who also have certain challenges. We would probably call them disabilities, in terms of penmanship, writing. But of course, the Jamaican landscape is not adequately prepared to deal with the various types of students. And so the challenge personally that I have with schooling in Jamaica is that the approach is everybody's at the same place, and that is not so. Everybody has their different areas of challenges or weaknesses and different areas of strength. And personally, I probably could have been an academic genius, but one of the greatest challenges that I have is that I am a slow writer I write very slow and I can't help it, right? And so when I'm in a class, I normally try to gather what I can gather, and then I figure out stuff on my own most times. You understand? Because I know what I struggle with. So I have to find ways to make it work for myself. Right? Now, lecturers don't take the time out to, and I'm not showing word at you, sir. This is a general statement.
Yeah, so say something.
Educators don't, in Jamaica in particular, don't take the time to differentiate between students and find out, you know, what's going on with a student. You know, they just assume stuff and they operate accordingly. And I think that is something that needs to be corrected in the Jamaican educational system, where we are treating everybody as we are all at the same place with all the same resources and all of that. So we have the same expectation, not knowing if, you know, someone has a different challenge versus otherwise. I feel words.
All right. So I hear you. But let me give you some remedies. You know, when you used to go to school and the teacher give dictation, anybody did like it? Well, me never did like it. And I used to wonder why on earth the teacher can't just write it on the board and me write it off. And I used to say my teacher's lazy. But you know, it's one thing when you sit on the periphery and don't know, that when you get into the inner circles and say, blow, so you go. So let me just explain something here. So I agree with you that we don't all learn at the same pace. I'm very cognizant of that. I don't know if you recognize it. So patient I was with Antoine, and then I said, hold on, were you in class last week? No, sir, it's my first class. I said, all right, cool. This is not for you, Antoine. But generally, when students don't come to class, you must always check to see what is happening, right? So I took the time out to explain to Antoine. And I know you did say that, you know, you're speaking in a general sense, which is why I said to you, don't say teachers in Jamaica, say some teachers, all right? But the reason teachers gave you in school or gave us in school dictation is so it is that we can practice on it. So let me tell you how one of the ways we can overcome, sir, the learning difficulty in that regard, writing fast, is you can read something over WhatsApp, record yourself, and then you play it back, and you are going to write as you are playing and see how much you can remember. It's an art that you have to develop, because unfortunately, this world of work is a brutal one. That if your boss calls you to say, Andrew Han, I want you to do X, Y, Z. Okay, sir, you're going too fast. He don't have time to repeat, because most often he's going to be talking out of his head and he's not going to remember what he said. All right. The other thing is when people say, sir, I can't public speak. Hello, you better go in the mirror. You better take one book and you better start read and look at your facial expression, because you don't know when you go into the place of work and you are a team lead and they ask you to make a presentation. We are going to say, you can't present? Oh, hell no, you want to work, right? So what is good is that you can identify your limitations, and in so identifying your limitations, you are going to be trying to combat the limitations so identified, all right? The final thing I'm going to say based on what it is that you have said, I agree with you. It has always been a complaint that we have students at different pace in Jamaica, but at the end of the process, you all have to write the same exam, which is why the motto of the Ministry of Education is every child can learn and every child must learn. So let me say this to you. So those of you who are weak, who you identify as a weak person, yours is going to be the responsibility to put in extra work so that you can catch up those who catch it the first time. So when I was going to school, I too was a slow math student, but very careful. If somebody dumb a question, make sure say no, so full marks may I get. But some of my other colleagues, when they reach halfway the question, then done it and then get it right, because they are accurate and have speed. I was accurate but lacked the speed. And I had to practice. It's a lot of practicing to get me where I'm at. So you have to be honest with yourself, identify your limitations, and work on those limitations. One of the other things that I used to do, sometimes I'm in class and I understand it, but the understanding is not 100. It's about a 70% or a 75%. All right? But me have friends in the class as teacher, let it go, then catch it. I say, all right, you're no good, man. No worry about me. Me no say. When me go home, me go do my EducaSoft. Teacher now have to say to me, do the EducaSoft. Because I know my limitations, so I am going to do my work. So guess what? You see, those of you who are struggling, you have 1 week to complete your EducaSoft. I'm not supposed to come to class and tell you, I'm going to close out your EducaSoft. You're supposed to be ahead of me. And that's why I give you the stuff. And that's why Subrian and Brianna and the other students that are big up in the group the other day, they deserve the big up. Because them now wait upon teacher. Them now wait upon me for come and say, do this. You know what I was saying last week and what she said today, which is why you see in the screen now? Sir, I'm open at the working and I wonder what. Sir, I aesthetic this shrink and shrink up there for. No, she's working ahead of me. And because working ahead of me, you know, she recognized that there is something that she not seen. When she finished, she could say, blow, sir, at this? Yeah, man. And then she's going to understand and move on to something else. So every time I come class, me expect her to say, sir, me not understand something. It's not what I did before. It's that she is moving forward. And that's what I'm saying to you. You have to get to that place of learning, not only Foundation 3, but with your other courses, that you're going to be doing what is expected of you. No, wait until teacher come class before you open your textbook or your notebook. Open from before and make notation and come to class and say, sir, may I do some work, you know. I mean, not. Let me tell you something, not answer no more question. I know what? I'll never ever say that to a student. So I hear you, I agree with you, but I also will say to you, know that most of the response or the answer for the answers for what it is that you've asked lies within the individual. Lies within the individual. All right? So a lot of times we have to be honest with ourselves, be able to identify, and once we identify, we can move on. All right, let's go. I will do this one very quickly. And thanks for the comments. I will definitely look into it and work upon it. And you'll hear me come back to you again to see if there's any improvement. All right? So just as so I'm expecting something, some deliverables from you, I know you too are expecting deliverables from me. All right? And that's how our relationship goes. One way and the other way. All right, let's go. Sketch a graph of both BAF. Let us do this quickly. I'm going to do it in my head. It is h is equal to b over 2a, so it's going to be negative 6 over 3 times 2, 6. So h is going to be equal to negative 1. Agree or disagree?
Go on your right screen, sir. Go on your right screen.
Okay. New share application on this one. And tell me now that you're seeing it, Papa.
Yes, sir.
Yes, seen it, sir.
All right, good. So I have 3x squared minus 6x plus 8. I'm just working on the value of h in my head, and h says it is b over 2a. So b is negative 6 over 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So it's negative 6 over 6, which is negative 1. So h is negative 1. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, so h is negative 1. And then you can work with me because I'm working out of my head. K is going to be equals to C, which is 8. So you can write down 8 for teacher. 8 minus B squared, which is negative 6 squares, over 4 times 3. Well, 4 times 3 is 12. And 6 is 36. 36 divided by 12 equals 3, don't it?
Yeah.
So we have 8 minus 3. Talk truth.
Plus 5, sir.
So we're going to get positive 5. You see what sir just said? And don't tell me, sir, because you're a maths teacher. No, man, you can actually check it in your headspace, you know. So we're going to get negative 1. H is negative 1, and Y is positive 5. So you know, if H is negative 1, when I put x minus 1 equals 0, that means my vertex is going to be 1,5. Right? So my vertex is 1,5. Tell me which of these 4 is a basic graph for this function here. So we did that the first class. Which is a basic graph? This one?
Parabola. No, sir. Parabola, parabola.
The parabola, very good. The parabola or parabola, same difference, very good. So you know this one is a sexy graph. This one is a different one. This one, the parabola is set the other way, but this is going to be the general shape of this graph. All right. Now remember, we said to you that our vertex is going to be 1,5. 1,5. So 1 is on the x-axis, so we go to the right. So click on that to go 1. And then 5 is a positive 5, so we're going to go 5 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is little later when we talk about transformation, but we're not talking about transformation now, right? So we leave it that as a case. So that's my vertex. Then now, x is 3. So Ava is not aesthetics, but we slide all the way up to 3, not 3.1, but 3. Right? And then I'm going to click done. And then I am correct.
Sir, hold on there.
It's sir.
Hi.
Sir, me get that, sir. I did that.
All right.
You want
to right.
Up and down.
Our wings are bright, our wings are bright, our wings are bright. All right, come, let's go again. Let's go again. And this is why I want you guys to understand. So when I leave, if you do the work, you can do it. All right, let's go again. So the first thing to do is to do your stuff in the form a open bracket x plus h all squared plus k, because you want to get the vertex form, right? What sir did was to calculate the vertex. What sir did again, he says h is equals to b over 2a. What is b? Negative 6 over 2 times a. A is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So I'm going to have negative 6 over 6, which is negative 1. So I'm going to have x minus 1. But when I set that equals to 0, I'm going to have it as positive 1. And then we work out our k. We now work out k again. You can work out that on your own. K is going to be 5. So my vertex is going to be 1, 5. Let me reset. My vertex is 1, 5. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to select my basic graph. I'm selecting my basic graph. What is my basic graph? It's not this. It's not this one. Neither is this, but this. How you know, sir? Because the x squared graph, positive x squared graph is a u. Negative x squared graph is a n. Right? So that's the first thing. And then now, I am going to be plotting my vertex. I'm plotting my vertex. My vertex says 1, 5. So these arrows here is not aesthetics. Going this way is to the left, like so. Going this way is to the right, like so. When I click the down one, I'm going down. When I click the up one, I go back up. So it is 1, 5. When I go to the right on the x-axis, it's positive. When I go to the left on the x-axis, it's negative. When I go up on the y-axis, it's positive. When I go down on the y-axis, it's negative. So I have 1, 5. So I'm going to go one place to the right. Click it one time. Done. But I have 5 units now to go up on the y-axis. So why go up and not down? Because it is positive 5. Had it been negative 5, I would have gone 5 units downwards. So now you recognize that positive x goes to the right, negative x goes to the left, positive y goes up, negative y goes down. So I want 5 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But my graph says the coefficient of x squared is 3. So I now have to stretch my graph all the way across to 3. It's now at 3. That's my graph. I click done and I'm correcto. And it works every single time. Every single time, barring none. Go on, try it. You have any difficulty, drop it in the group.
Sir, I'm glad that you showed this now, sir, because I'm not too familiar with the graph thing when it comes to Edicassoft.
Yeah, no problem, Krish. I'm happy that you see it.
I'm good now because I'm practice. I practice one night till about 1 hour before I get to understand that one of them. So me good.
Bless your heart. I'm going to be watching and I'm going to be bigging up those people, and you see the little ones them in class who want to look like them want to get lazy, they're going to load up and say, Sabrine, you were good last week, but this week you're not shining. I mean, no, so she's shining because my girl are gone, you know? My girl are gone, you know? No, man, I'm proud of you guys. Really proud of you. And that she's not the only one. There are others who have moved on and have been doing very well. And trust me, every week I'm in a big up. And you know, so I go buy a bag of tigers, you know. Yeah, man, I go do it. Yeah, I go do it. Anyhow, Bri, you need to call me now. And the rest of you, have a good rest of the Saturday. Get some work done up. I mean, Ava, come out of the bed now. Midday almost. Later. Be good and be safe.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Bye-bye. But I'm super.
Thanks, sir. Bye.
Bye-bye, hon.
To call you now, sir.
All right, then, Coco. Later.
Excuse me, sir. Could I call you or could I speak to you after everyone leaves the meeting?
No, you can call me in about. I'm going to talk to Bri now, so call me about 10 minutes from now.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, no problem. Best up.